There you go. Muted. Great. Great. Hmm. Been thinking about this ICE agent shooting in Minneapolis. Still, and I know, people hate Trump and people hate ICE and people don't like the deportations and all that. But we're talking about a 37-year-old woman, mother of 3 kids. Hey, Margaret. Hey, Dee Dee. Welcome back. 37-year-old woman, mother of 3. What the hell are you doing out there? And I know I talked about this with Bam a little bit earlier on the previous live earlier today. And people don't like the opinion. But she made a big freaking mistake. She made a mistake. And perhaps the agent, it's hard to tell, unless you're in that situation, you can't tell, oh, well, it's textbook, you should have done this, or it's textbook, you should have done that. In a real life situation, it doesn't work like that. That's not an easy decision, especially when you have to make a decision super quick. I mean, like on the instant, And I know because I got friends in Chicago PD, and they've told me about when they've had shooting. Hey, Lorianne. KK, what up? And I've talked to both, some that have resulted in someone's death and others that have shot people, but they didn't die. And the sentiment of the officer when somebody dies, I mean, it weighs heavy on them. And, in spite of, her slamming on the gas pedal and she didn't care what was in front of her. And he reacted the way he reacted. I think, I mean, who are you to blame? You can't. Not everybody is in that situation every day. And yes, it's a very hard truth that she made a mistake. She shouldn't have been there. 1, she shouldn't have been there. 2, and I keep thinking about these little kids she's got at home. If I got a wife and we got kids at home, and apparently she was there all day long. She's been bothering ICE all day long. I mean, I would not be a happy camper about that. It's like, you got 3 little kids. Why are you putting yourself in these positions where you could get hurt? Or, get arrested even, and you're gone all day or overnight or whatever. Did you see the latest where mobs smashed windows at the federal building? I was hoping it wouldn't get to that. And, I do blame, I even hate to call them leadership, but mayors and governors, you know, and congresswomen and senators and politicians telling people to resist ICE, to be hostile. That is what got us here to this. And it's going to happen again. People have been getting shot, people have been getting, pepper sprayed and all that, and they're trying not to use anything lethal. But these guys are getting abuse, man, from the moment they step out of the building when they're going to go do their job. And these guys are just doing their jobs. Deportation order. Here's a list. They're out to get people with deportation orders, and some of those with deportation orders are criminals who have committed crimes and they've been on the run. I'm going to play the clip what the mayor said. I don't like that guy. He basically, he said it. He told, I have a message for ICE, get the F out of Minneapolis. And like, what? And yeah, and I keep thinking about this, and it bothers the piss out of me. That lady should have been home right now, putting her kids to bed. That's what she should have been doing. I know it's the narrative of the left to call this, a cruel and cold-blooded murder. But where that ICE agent was, had he slipped, or if it was an instant sooner, he would have fell back and got run over. I mean, for sure. But that decision was made. She made a very, very, very bad call. Once they say, stop your vehicle, get out, come on, get out. She made the mistake blocking the street. She made a mistake interfering, like a lot of these people are doing. They're interfering. You want to protest? Go protest. Fine. Stand on the sidewalk. Don't interfere. Protest all you want. Demonstrate all you want. It's our right to do so. But don't interfere. These guys were not just picking random people off the street. They have a list to work off of. I keep thinking she's got freaking little kids, man. What is she? And that family is destroyed now. Hey, Linda. Hey, Kathy. Who else here? Ginger. Jennifer. Hey, what's up? I don't know. You got to hit the little notification bell, or the 3 dots on my page. You should get. That'll tell you what to get notified. Yeah. Let me show you. For those of you who haven't seen it, I'm going to show the video in case you haven't seen it. So apparently, right before this, and the video doesn't catch it, one of the ICE vehicles was stuck in the snow and they had to push him out. And they were gonna, I don't know if they were headed from an operation or going to an operation. And then this lady decided to pull out and block the road so they couldn't conduct their business. So they're telling her to get out of the vehicle. So there were 2 or 3 shots fired. 2 for sure. Might have been a third one. I think I did hear a third shot.
No! No! Shame! Shame! Oh my fucking God! What the fuck? What the fuck?
Then apparently because she was shot, her foot hit the pedal and she just crashed into those vehicles that were parked, on the street. And according to one of the reports I saw, there were 3 shots and she took all 3 to the face, her head. There is some video footage. I don't have it here right now, but I mean, there's the doors open, the passenger door opens up and there's blood everywhere. The airbag came out and there was blood all over that thing. And
Get the fuck out of our neighborhood!
This is a different angle. That's the vehicle right there in the middle, that burgundy, dark red colored SUV.
What the fuck? Dude, what the fuck? Dude, you did a murder for what?
Here it is, one more time.
No! No! Shame! Shame! Oh my fucking God! What the fuck? What the fuck? You just fucking, what the fuck did you do? Get the fuck out of our neighborhood!
What the fuck? Dude, what the fuck? Dude, you did a murder for what?
No!
Anyway, I can just leave that playing there for those of you who have not seen it. And I'm glad it wasn't more graphic, because I definitely wouldn't want to show that. Lorianne, that's correct. Trying to keep her on the scene. I mean, the way she sped off, and then might have resulted in a chase, and then more danger, more crash or something. Apologize for my cough. That's why I didn't want to. I haven't been live in the last few days. I've been sick since the holiday. Yeah, so you've got the usual left against the right on social media everywhere, and I mean everywhere. and you know they're already doxing the agent. They put his name out there, and somebody put his address out there, and here, let me find the mayor of Minneapolis. Well, these are shorter clips. I wanted to play a longer clip, but the dude is a I don't know if you know who he is. Here, I found it. Let me move stuff around here.
There's little I can say, again, that'll make this situation better, but I do have a message for our community, for our city, and I have a message for ICE. To ICE, get the out of Minneapolis. We do not want you here. Your stated reason for being in this city is to create some kind of safety, and you are doing exactly the opposite. People are being hurt. Families are being ripped apart. Long-term Minneapolis residents that have contributed so greatly to our city, to our culture, to our economy are being terrorized, and now somebody is dead. That's on you. And it's also on you to leave. It's on you to make sure that further damage, further loss of life and injury is not done.
Yeah, and you know, to that, I like how you know they've been investigating, and it's come out in the last few weeks about. Actually, they've been investigating for years, but it finally came out in the open about this fraud going on right in Minnesota, and they've asked him for a statement. If he had anything to say, wouldn't say anything. Hasn't said anything about it. Hasn't said a word. Of course, this happens today, and now you know we're hearing from him. Like I said earlier, I think leadership, if you want to call it that, here has contributed to you know creating a hostile environment. I think there are many people to blame here, and you know maybe the officer's reaction wasn't the perfect one. Maybe you know it wasn't, but you know until you stand there and you're about to get run over, possibly pinned, you know, between that vehicle and another vehicle, or I don't know what runs through your mind at that moment. And he had been, this officer, they said on the news, he was in another incident where he was trying to get somebody out of a vehicle, and he got dragged for some distance. Now, I don't know if he was holding the door or if they were holding his arm and dragging him. I don't know. But, you know, he's been involved in an incident where he could have been killed. So this was not his first rodeo with that. So I'm sure he had something on the back of his mind. And yeah, there's a couple of different angles. There's still one more angle. It's from further away, but you can see, and even in this video, you can see the agent at the front. You know, some people say, "Oh, he barely got touched. He barely got touched." It's like, you know, he saw her face, and she decided to push on that gas pedal. I mean, she didn't even try to stop. She just, I'm out of here. And I don't think she meant to kill him and run him over. but she certainly didn't care that he was in the way when she took off. Yeah, Jennifer, let me see if I can find that other angle. Margaret, I know. And, you know, part of me is conflicted, but for the most part, I'm not conflicted. I'm more, it's like I'm pissed off at that woman. You know, I keep thinking about, you got kids at home. What are you doing out there? What, you know? And then makes me believe, you know, maybe she's one of these paid people. Maybe she was paid to be there. That's why she was there so many hours. Apparently she had been there since early morning. You know, I mean, eventually that stuff will come out. You know, take a stupid crap that shouldn't have happened. It shouldn't have happened at all. And I don't know. I keep thinking about these kids. They got no mom. They saw what happened on TV, or they will when they get older. And you know, telling ICE to get the F out of Minneapolis. Yeah, you know, that's the wrong response. And he's trying to play tough guy. And so is Tim Walz. Tim Walz, he loves this because this is a distraction from the fraud that he's involved in, which he's in deep shit. So anything to distract from that, you know, he's going to welcome it. And until these so-called leaders, yes, from all these blue state cities, you know, they keep saying, oh, let's bring down the temperature. Let's bring down the temperature. It's like, yeah, quit telling your people to be hostile. Quit telling your people to be aggressive against the police, against ICE. Quit telling your police department not to cooperate with ICE. You know, police should have been out there keeping the crowd under control, keeping people on the sidewalk, keeping people away from their operation site. You know, kind of like when you close off a crime scene, hey, everybody stand back. It's like, yeah, you know what? You stand back, you stay away. Protest all you want, stay there all day if you want, but don't interfere. And you know what? And that's the hard truth. That is a hard truth. That woman made a mistake. She shouldn't have been there. And it's a hard truth. Maybe the officer, I don't know. You know, I want to say that people are going to say, well, did he react inappropriately? I think, you know, you don't know that if you're possibly facing getting hurt. It's hard to say unless you're in those boots. Yeah, and then you got the Governor Walz, Tampon Timmy, threatening to get the National Guard out. Yeah, what are you gonna do? You're gonna fight ICE, really? And that's another one. He's trying to be all, you know, oh, these are Minnesotans, you know, and we're tough, and they're not going to use us as a. It's like, they're saying all the wrong things. Hey, Marty, she was in the lead, the riots, and had been following them all day, creating chaos. Yeah, that's what I heard. That's exactly what I heard. You know, so, you know, and that's not a popular stance. You know, a mom is killed, and of course now all you're gonna hear is, oh, the mother or the mom that was killed, the mom of 3 that was killed. Well, you know, the mom of 3 shouldn't have been out there. And you know what? And that's going to be my stance. You know, somebody commented on one of my comments on the post was that, oh, you must not have seen the video. Like, I saw the video. So you go stand in front of a car and somebody's in a panic and wants to escape and doesn't care that you're in the way. That's the, you know, what you're going to do. And yes, you have a gun on your side. And the people that are just, you know, the usual F ice and he's a murderer and all this thing. Yeah, that's not gonna fly with me. I'm sorry, but I'm not apologizing for, you know, I think she made a mistake. She made a mistake. She should have been there. She should be alive right now. I just keep thinking about these kids. See if there's anything else on that right now. Give me a second. Give some reactions to that already. Let's see.
Well, the mayor of Minneapolis has a message for ICE.
And I have a message for ICE. To ICE, get the fuck out of Minneapolis.
Okay, I'll bite. Or else what? No, seriously, Mayor, be specific. What do you plan to do if ICE actually continues to carry out its legal obligations within the city of Minneapolis? You going to call up your police force to do something about it? Because we all know you wouldn't do it personally. No. You would rely upon the police force that people like you regularly denigrate as being sexist, racist, bigoted murderers, right? The sort of institution that you want to defund is now the one you'll probably rely upon to try to push back against ICE. Yeah. Let me go ahead and spell this out for you, big guy. The only thing that leftists really control in this country when it comes down to it is an army of activists that identify themselves by their mental illness. And the rest of us are just tired of indulging you at this point. Yeah, the fatigue has evolved into full-blown exhaustion at this point. So 2026 is the year where when you get upset, we get happy. Because the bottom line is we're sick of your crap. So go ahead and drop the F-bomb behind a podium if it makes you feel tough. But ICE is going to continue to do operations. And you know what you're going to do about it? Nothing.
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. He's 100% right. I think that was a poor response from the mayor of Minneapolis. Clearly just pandering. Clearly just pandering. Yeah, you know, it's just my opinion. Everybody has their opinion, and you guys can think whatever you like. That's just my opinion. That I you know. She made a mistake. Those kids should not be without a mom. That's the part that really pisses me off. Absolutely pisses me off. Man, it just, oh man, it's like if you could go back 12 hours. I mean, what she say? Oh yeah, I'm gonna go out and protest. Like, all right, okay. I'm sure that, you know, you got to feed these kids later on. Who's watching the kids? Grandma. You know, when you have kids and then you leave them with someone some people feel, oh, they don't have kids. Like you drop off the kids and then you're like, oh, I don't have kids. I'm childless. That's not how it is, man. That's not how it is. That's not how it is. You still got kids. You're just not with them at the moment. But you still have them and you have to go back to them. I don't know. You know, I think about it differently, I guess, I suppose. I don't know. You know, if you're a mom, I don't think you should be skydiving. That's my opinion too. So something can go wrong and that parachute don't open and you know, you don't take risks like that. It's different when you got kids. It's different when you're a mom. And I think, again, that the mayor, I think that's a sorry response. Yeah. Oh, sure. ICE is going to listen to you. President Trump is going to listen to you. You know, and President Trump, you know how he is. He's not going to have soft and kind words. Sorry about that. Yeah, JC, that's the curse. That's the curse. It's the men traditionally, they're the ones who go out and do all the dangerous stuff. And, you know, I want to say, I don't know, maybe there was a time where you could say, oh, you know, some men are more level-headed than women. Women are more emotional. But I don't know. It seems like in the last decade or two, possibly, you know, there's been and you know, people are not going to like to hear this either, but there's been a demasculation, or this term, toxic masculinity going around. Hey, Victor. The Dallas area, and I put it on that post. It turned out to be a well, it was a threat, but it was a hoax. They never meant to do anything. They just wanted to scare the shit out of people. That's what happened with the Dallas hoax. I don't know if you guys saw that. I posted that yesterday. It was on X, and they wanted to scare people. Why? You know, it's different than what's that guy called? The Bushman. Have you seen the Bushman videos? The guy who's completely covered in leaves and vines, and he's like sitting in a pot, and then people walk by, and he scares them, and they freak. You know, that's a funny kind of scaring somebody. But you know, telling the general public that you're going to go to 14 different schools and you're going to have an active shooter at 14 different schools and you're going to blow up a mall. What the fuck is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? I don't know. No, JC, I think he did. Let me see if I can find it. I don't think it was, you know, it's not that it's not a vanilla response, in case you thought he was going to say something, you know, in favor of the woman that's deceased. Let's see. I'm looking for his response. I keep seeing the video of the mayor. All right, Mr. President. Having seen the video myself, I want to tell everybody directly. Oh no, that's the mayor. The mayor. D-A. Dumbass. All right, this is his statement. The woman driving the car was very disorderly, obstructing, and resisting. Who then violently, willfully, and viciously ran over the ICE officer. Didn't quite run him over, clipped him, who seems to have shot her in self-defense. Based on the attached video clip, it's hard to believe he is alive, but he's recovering. Yeah, he was hospitalized. The situation is being studied in its entirety, but the reason these incidents are happening is because radical left is threatening, assaulting, and targeting our law enforcement officers and ICE. And ICE agents on a daily basis. They're just trying to do the job of making America safe. We need to stand by and protect our law enforcement officers from this radical left movement of violence and hate. So yeah, if anybody was looking for him to say anything, you know, oh, poor lady. Yeah, no. In the clip he referenced was a 13-second video aired by blah, blah, blah. Despite his claim and other videos make an assertion of self-defense much more complicated. Yeah, you know, I don't think the agent was trying to kill the woman necessarily. He was definitely trying to disable her. Hey, trouble. So, you know, at this point in our life, how he reacts to things and what he says shouldn't surprise you. It really shouldn't. Trump is Trump. He's going to say Trump things in his Trump style. And a lot of people are not going to like it, and a lot of people are going to like it and agree with him. And for the most part, I do. And I said this before, I understand. I remember when Rob Reiner was murdered last month, and he put out a statement that he goes, yeah, you know what? He basically called Rob Reiner a piece of shit. He was on the anti-Trump, everything, you name it. In Hollywood, he was the leader of the anti-Trump movement. So he didn't have nice things to say about Rob Reiner. But I get it, because, you know, Rob Reiner was one of those people, along with others in DC and everywhere else, that, you know, was trying to put Trump under the jail. You know, all these scenarios that never happened, like the Russian hoax thing, and you know, suing him in New York for real estate or whatever, the fraud, misappropriation of funds when he paid off Stormy Daniels. It's just ridiculous, all this stuff. So he's, you know, and people trying to kill him, you know. Once, close call. Second time, you know, they got prevented, but you know, they gave him this chip on his shoulder, and he's got a chip. That's for damn sure. He does. Yeah, he's got no filter, and that's why a lot of people like him. You're right, Margaret. People like him because he talks like people you talk to in the street. He's not fake. I mean, one true reaction when he found out that what's her name? When Judge Ginsburg passed away, and he didn't know. He was on his way to get onto the helicopter, and a reporter said, "You know that Judge Ginsburg, she passed away?" And he's like, "What? Did this just happened?" He goes, "No, I didn't hear you. You're telling me right now." And he didn't agree with her, and she didn't agree with him, and but he said, that was a good person, that was a good woman, he said, and he just that's what came out of him at the point. It was nice words that came out. So even though she opposed him, but she wasn't necessarily trying to put him in jail or get him shot or get him killed or whatever. Anyway, you can expect Trump to be Trump. That's the bottom line. Yeah, so now seems to be people are expecting busloads of demonstrators and protesters and rabble rousers to go and start destroying Minneapolis. Okay, this is in Americans are demanding the resignation of Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey because he threatened violence against ICE just a couple weeks ago. Now, a suspect tried running over, didn't care about she may run over an ICE agent, a police officer, a law enforcement officer. And just a couple of weeks ago, he threatened ICE. You see, you say all these subtle things, these little innuendos. Remember, what's her name? These names are, what's her name? Maxine. They're Waters. Back when I think it was 2016, 2017, where she told people, you go out there and you see them at the store, you see them at a restaurant, you see them at the grocery store, you get in their face, you confront them. You think that's good for the country? Another example of the need for term limits. Was she like 80 or 82? I don't even know how old she is. She is I don't know, do the math. 1938 is when she was born. Usually it tells you what the age is. '80. Over 80. 82, 83. When you're 80, do you want to keep working? I don't want to be working, this year. I want to, it'd be nice to retire already. I don't want to work till I'm 80 years old. And a lot of these people have been making a lot of money. Their bank accounts are very, very well padded just from being a politician. Like, how did that happen? How did that happen? And then, hey, you know what? You got, I don't know, over 30-year career. Now you've got what, $10 million in the bank. However you got it, It's there. So now you got 5 million, even 5 million, 8 million. But you don't want to retire because you keep building, you keep accumulating, and you get greedy. And the other point is they don't believe in those that are behind them to take over because they feel I better stay here because they can't do what I do. They're not going to pick up the slack. So they stay longer and longer and longer. And I know President Trump talks about another term. He just does that to piss people off. President Trump is a master troller. He doesn't want to be doing this for another 4 years after. No way. He just likes to push buttons and people fall for it every single time. Hey, Oriana. Yeah, AOC. She's got big bucks now. Big bucks. From bartender to millionaire. Just like that. Just like that. The official state? Oh, no. Who said that? Did you see the when the lady was called a queer woman was shot by ICE? That was right. Who said that? Right, JC? I'm 45 and I don't want to work. I don't want to work no more. I'm done working. Been working since I was... When did I start work? And I couldn't work legally, so it was under the table. But I was working at, let's see. I was 12 or 13. Off the books, but that's when I started working. I had to be somewhere. When school was out on vacation, I was working full time. Yeah, AOC all of a sudden has money. Not all of a sudden, but she makes her salary, and she's got a swanky, beautiful apartment. And let's see if her value is up here anywhere. Maybe she's not a millionaire. Her annual salary is $174,000. According to her 2024 financials, her assets are between $17,000 to $81,000. And that includes a savings account, checking account, brokerage account, retirement account. And she still has student loans said to be under $50,000. There you go. Rumors debunked claims that her net worth is in the millions, specifically $29 million. I don't know where that number came from. But those numbers are false and have been debunked. And so there's that. So she's not a millionaire. She's a 100,000-aire. Whatever. Good for her. I wish she would do something with it. Do something there. Other than win the seat, earn your big salary, and walk around like you're the boss of things. Do something. If I'm not mistaken, she hasn't introduced anything to bring up for a vote. Anything at all. Let me check X. That's what I was going to do. There's a short video. It's only 27 seconds. Shh. My cat wants to get in my office here.
Bob, I want to jump in here. I want to ask you where you're at right now. And we're seeing the images on the screen. There's that flag you were talking about being burned here. What kind of things are they shouting? The crowd that's out there. I know they're obviously not happy ICE is there. They've been talking about that. What are they saying? You know, what's the energy like where you are right now?
So that's one reason why I'm not getting too close so I can hear all of you, because it is loud out here. It's profanity. There's a lot of profanities against ICE.
Bob, I want to jump in here. I want to ask you where you're at right now. And we're seeing.
Now you can tell some of these people are probably from the neighborhood. But there's a lot of people who are not. I don't know, man. You know, maybe I'm in the minority, but I'm very, very America first. Michael Knight, what up, man? How are you, my brother? Nice to see you. Yeah, what is that going to accomplish, you guys? Nothing. Nothing at all. It's going to get you on a highlight video like this. That's what that's going to do. Yeah, no, I could have kept on with it. That's why I decided to look it up. You know, there's no reason we can't look stuff up. Everything, all the information is at our fingertips now. There shouldn't be an excuse. That's why I was like, yeah, let me check. Let's see. Oops, you know what? That's a little hard to read. Let's try. State rep. Yeah, I'm assuming that's a Lee Fink. Lee Fink issued a statement. Mourning Good, that's her last name, the victim, Good, as a queer woman, a loved and celebrated community member who has now been stripped away from family. See, but to them, that's not disrespectful. That's more virtue signaling. The way that's just more dumb virtue signaling. He didn't have to say queer woman, but everybody's supposed to go, oh, you know, that's just going to add more to the anger, to everyone's anger. Oh, and she was LGBTQ. That's what I believe anyway. Yeah, I'm not a fan of the flag burning. You know, I understand people's right to do it, but I think people do it more for sensationalism. I think he's doing it because there's a crowd of people all around him, because people are recording him. He's a big shot now. giving people the finger. You know, he's a big shot, right? Big tough guy. Like a lot of people have become big tough guys, you know, keyboard warriors. Let's see what else there is. If there is. It's the same one that we saw. Oh my goodness. You know, this is the George Floyd funeral.
Joy comes in the morning. Troubles, they don't last always. Lord, there's a friend of grace. Joy comes.
Where's my eye roll t-shirt? Tell me he's not showboating, virtue signaling. Seriously. And you know, and at this point, we already know George Floyd was no, you know, ideal citizen. He had problems. He was a criminal. He was a drug addict. That doesn't mean he had to die. And perhaps, you know, the police officer, what's it? I can't think of his name already. The way they did him didn't help Floyd's situation, because he couldn't breathe, because he had taken all these freaking drugs. But to act like this, like he was Jesus Christ or something. See, this is just cringy stuff, you know? It's like, oh man. You know, just like, you know, the Black Lives Matter Day ran around this time, when Nancy Pelosi and all the other cronies were there at the Capitol, and they all knelt. Remember, they all had that, they were wearing that garb, and they all knelt down, and oh my God, really? People, you're embarrassing yourselves. You know, I bow to no one. You know, I'll bow to my sister because she's my elder. I'll bow to my parents. But I'm not going to bow for just any man. No way. Get the hell out of here. Yeah, you know, I'm not a fan of Erica Kirk. There's something, you know, I mean, I think Candace Owens is full of shit, first of all. And I don't know to what, you know, I hate to think the Turning Point USA would be so stupid to be involved in something like that. But I'm not a fan of Erica and her behavior. I think there is something weird, shady. I don't know. Something is off. Something is off. I mean, you don't see me posting shit all about Erica, praising her left and right. Man, no, what are the reason for it? Not a fan. Not a fan. Something's not right. But I don't think. And if I'm wrong, if Candace was right, well, you know, hey, I'll say it. But there's something about Erica that's. You know, I don't know. At the same time, I think all of this was a publicity scheme for both of them. You know, I mean, Candace shot to the top and became the #1 podcaster on the planet, or at least in the country. I don't know about the planet, but the country. I think there's a Mexican dude who's the top podcaster, or at least he's got the most followers, like on TikTok or something like that. But her podcast shot to #1, most viewers, I mean, subscribers and all that stuff. She's making money hand over fist. That is George Floyd. No, Valdez. This is the mayor of Minneapolis bowing down and praying or crying over George Floyd. So it was a few years ago. Yeah, you know, I have seen some conspiracy videos about Erica's eyes and the way they get. I don't know. One, it's got something to do with that black stuff that I forget what you call it. Whatever. That's the black line above and the black line below intensifies that look when she looks at you a certain way. I mean, she could be put in a movie like to be a fucking witch or something. I mean, she's got this evil look. Hey, Nicole and Chris. She has this evil look. Like she belongs on Stranger Things or something. Yeah, so something wicked. And yeah, the whole thing, well, you know, people mourn differently. And I know, and that's true. Some people don't just, they don't mourn at all. Reptilian? I don't know. I do believe in that stuff, by the way. Reptilian, there are species of alien on the planet with us. Sorry, somebody sent something. Let's see, what is this?
Coming alive. I am on the ground. Hey everyone, this is Representative Pam Altendorf coming live at you from the Minnesota State Capitol. I am on the ground floor, and as I was leaving my committee meeting today here earlier, I noticed that there is a new display here at the state capitol, and it's for Governor Walz. It's right here on display. So let me see. I mean, I guess I can't flip my phone, but I'll see if I can show it to you. So this is what we have here, everyone. Let me read it to you. The Democratic Coalition of Satan Worshippers thanks Governor Tim Walz for not standing in the way of spreading Satanism in the state capitol building. Satan has a special place for you. That's right, everyone. So the Democratic Coalition.
All right, I have to show that. Did you catch that? Anybody catch that? Yeah, let me show that. I'm trying to read her to see how serious she is. Is she happy about it or what?
Everyone, this is Representative PM Altendorf coming live at you from the Minnesota State Capitol. I am on the ground floor, and as I was leaving my committee meeting today here earlier, I noticed that there is a new display here at the State Capitol, and it's for Governor Walz. It's right here on display. So let me see. I mean, I guess I can't flip my phone, but I'll see if I can show it to you. This is what we have here, everyone. Let me read it to you. The Democratic Coalition of Satan Worshippers thanks Governor Tim Walz for not standing in the way of spreading Satanism in the state capitol building. Satan has a special place for you. That's right, everyone. So the Democratic Coalition of Satan Worshippers, they have given some sort of plaque here to Governor Tim Walz. So let me be the first, I guess, to congratulate Governor Tim Walz for this very special award that has come from the Satan worshippers here in the Minnesota State Capitol. Yes, everyone, this is true. I am live, not making this up. You can't make this up. I don't know what else to say. I would think if you're Governor Tim Walz, you could choose not to have up this plaque. I don't know why a governor of a state would want this plaque, but there it is. Let me show you. Here we are, live at the state capitol, and the Satan worshipers have thanked Governor Tim Walz. And let me repeat this. The last line says, Satan has a special place for you.
Well, that explains a lot, I suppose. Naya, hey. Nice to see you. Satan has a special place for you, Tim Walz. You know, I mean, just the fact that they would allow these people to even put something there like that. Hey, you know what? You can worship whoever you want to. I don't care. But see, and this is what I mean by when I said earlier about political correctness has gone. That's over. It's time to end political correctness. I mean, enough tap dancing around issues. Enough of the participation trophies. Enough of being afraid that, oh, yeah, you know, you can't say that around them because, yeah, you don't. No, you know, you can't say that because it's, you know, like, yeah, enough. You know what? I think if more people spoke out, and I'll just use President Trump as an example. If people just spoke their minds, I think there would be less what is that word I'm looking for? You know, everybody would know where you stand with each other, with things. It wouldn't be, well, I don't know. What do you think? What do you think he stands on this topic or whatever? I don't know. He says this or he says that, but I think if people were more direct and more to the point, quit trying to sugarcoat things. Just say what's on your mind. You know, this world might actually be a better place than trying to keep the truth from people or, you know, keep a certain truth that might hurt somebody's feelings. You know, a quote of the decades for the decades was when Ben Shapiro said, well, facts don't care about your feelings. Man, that rings true on so many levels. You know, and perhaps this is the year to try it. Stop being so politically correct. It's done. It's over. It's over. Yowza, big comment here. And I know not all of it's going to fit there, and I don't know how to put a second continuing. I think Erica Kirk is simply a bit vain, used to a certain way of life and used to being the center of attention. She's accustomed to that. I think she's also following some sort of dictates that she and Charlie discussed about her behavior should something happen to him. And think about it, she may not know who to trust. I think Erica's eyes are the result of their color. Her makeup and maybe are an indication of something off, but she's supposedly very devout. And really, I have no idea what she's going through. Yeah, I guess nobody does really. I remember years ago, I used to walk my dog early in the AM before I put my contacts in. I'm legally blind without them, and I have very light green eyes. Well, they, of course, dilate because I'm so myopic. So this guy that lived in one of my apartments stopped me one day and asked, what kind of sarcastically, are you a witch? Your eyes are so strange. And every morning I wave at you and you just stare at me so hatefully. The thing is, I couldn't see him. My eyes were abnormally dilated. I'm not saying that Erica Kirk is some paragon of virtue. I think she may be a bit shallow, but evil. Well, I don't know evil. I'm not gonna go as far as say evil. I don't think. I think maybe just the way she comes off, the conspiracy theorists are going to say, "Oh yeah, she don't care. Charlie's gone." Yeah, no. And I don't know. You know, and that rumor, I don't know if it was ever debunked or confirmed that Charlie was seeking a separation from Erica. And somebody said recently that they were even the last few nights that they slept apart. The daughters slept with Erica and Charlie slept in the girls' room. Then again, that came from Candace, so who knows where she got that from. Oh, that's interesting. Jane, I have to see these eyes now. I'm not going to goof on you. I just want to see. I want to see. Yeah, so, you know, I don't know. That's a whole other, trying to see where that unfolds. You know, Candace Owens, I don't know if you know the whole conspiracy theory thing. Her and Erica and Turning Point, but then going back and forth, and then all of a sudden it kind of just stopped. And now she's, I think in the latest thing, she's blaming or accusing Ben Shapiro and the Daily Wire that they have it out for her, like to take her out. Now, I do believe it's possible that the French Emmanuel Macron may want to take her out. You know, she's been going on and on about this. His wife is a biological male, not a female. I don't understand why Candace cares so much about that. It's really strange. So they're suing Candace. You know, the Macrons have a lot of money. And I think Candace Owens has built a lot of money, a lot recently. But I don't think she's got, you know, lawsuit money to last for years. Unless somebody's paying for it. But that's a whole other program. I think I'm going to call it a night right now. But yeah, you know, I came on earlier. Just wanted to, this thing, kept thinking about it all night. And so many people, you know, the usual fuck ICE and hate ICE. And I think, come on, stop already. She made a freaking mistake. That woman shouldn't have been out there. She should be alive. Yeah, and that's my stance on that. Did the guy react harshly? You don't know, unless you're in that position. And he had been through it before. Hey, Chrissy. Yeah, I know. Now I can't shut up, right? But yeah, just gonna wrap it up right now. The trial, the Uvalde trial, is going to continue tomorrow. I don't think that's. I don't know how I feel about that. I think, the families are suing that police officer that he didn't do enough as he could have or should have to save lives. And I don't think it's fair to put it all on him. And I know they want to blame somebody. I know, they want someone to answer for that tragedy, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know how. I'm not convinced one way or the other 100% on it, but I'm leaning towards it's not fair. Again, there was a administrative person. I don't know if it was a teacher or somebody from the administrative offices of the school. He confronted someone in the car, same situation, to get out of the vehicle. They wouldn't get out. He opened the door and they closed the door on him with his arm in there, and then they took off. So they dragged him for some distance. So he had been in that situation before. And I think that makes a difference. That makes a difference. So, with the Uvalde thing, we'll catch up on that tomorrow. I think my voice, I keep coughing, and I apologize for that. But hopefully tomorrow it'll be better than today. I'm gonna go drink some hot liquid right now, and try to get that cough gone. The cough always lingers the most, and I freaking hate it. Coughs are annoying. Let's see. I'll post a close. Oh, okay. Candace, in my opinion, has discredited herself by blaming everyone. She's blaming everybody. I mean, everybody. And their mother. Everybody. I know. The obsession with her Brigitte Macron, whether or not she's got a penis or she's born male. I mean, some women are just a little awkward. At first I thought, maybe I'll believe Candace. And you see these video clips of Brigitte and the way she's walking and crossing her leg. But you know what? Some women, everybody's different. Everybody's different. There's a little awkwardness in one way or another in everyone. And, it doesn't mean she's a man. And apparently she's not done. She's going to do another series this year on Brigitte Macron. And she's going to continue with her Brigitte is a biological male series. It's like, geesh. Yeah, I don't know. And then, real quick, Candace Owens said this guy, I forgot his name already. Somebody will pop his name up here. I can't remember his name. This guy saw all these generals and, high-level military people at a military base or at a hotel, and where they were having a meeting where they were plotting Charlie's, assassination. And he thinks he saw Erica there. And he thinks he saw Brian Walpole, the head of security for Turning Point. As it turns out, Walpole was in Dallas on his way to the airport with 7 or 8 other people who have provided proof. I mean, there were witnesses. He showed his boarding pass. But of course, Candace doesn't believe it. She doesn't believe the boarding pass. She thinks people are just lying to cover for him. It's like, I mean, when you get to that point, here's my boarding pass. Look at the date. Look at my name. Look at where. When you get to that point where you start not believing things that are real right in front of you, you have a problem. And I think, but you know what? But she does this, and people watch. She's making tens of thousands on every show that she does. And the bottom line is that's all she cares about. Legit, that's all she cares about. But anyway, we'll save that for another program. Hey, you guys have a great night. Thanks for hanging out with me for a little while this late Wednesday night. Tomorrow's another day. Let's see what happens with Uvalde and Rob Reiner. What's his name? The Reiner, Nick Reiner. Why did the attorney drop him? Well, we're hoping to find out in the next few days. But that'll wrap it up for me. Have a great night. Get to bed. Get to bed. Oh, watch some good stuff. Watch Tokyo Vice on Max. It's good. It's good. It's really good. It's only 2 seasons. I think it's 8 episodes. 8 episodes each or something like that. Tokyo Vice. Watch it. It's worth it. All right. Good night, everybody.